Who's opening?
You.
Good evening. I'd like to open the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners meeting for September 2nd, 2015. We're opening at 6:33. Next item, which we put off for a few months, is reorganization. I spoke with Dan. Dan feels if we have a quorum, we have the right to proceed with reorganizing.
I'd like to make a motion to make Dan chairman.
I would like to second that. And I know Jonathan's done a great job, but he's been under the gun for several years as far as serving as chairman. So I'd like to thank him, and I make the motion then to accept.
Motion.
Okay, so I'll second the motion for Dan O'Connor as chairman of the Water and Sewer Department.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, we need to have a vice chair. Any nominations from the floor?
Can we nominate Scott?
Sure.
Put him on this.
I'll nominate Scott Picard.
Yeah, what's that around there? Sikowski.
Scott Sikowski as vice chair of the Water Sewer Department.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And next, we need a clerk.
You can do
In all reality, Kristen would be the clerk, no?
Well, the board, as an officer, has a chairman, a vice chair, and a clerk. The clerk of the board,
I nominate Jay as clerk.
Second.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
The next item on the agenda are the minutes from our August 5th meeting,
It wasn't a meeting.
It was not a meeting.
and there was no meeting.
But I don't think it would hurt, Mr. Chairman, to put him on record that it was here.
Okay, so,
I'd like to make a motion to accept the discussion that
The
was
discussion,
occurred
yeah.
on August 5th.
I would second it because it was an open discussion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Those are approved. Now, do we want to go back to the previous meeting and accept a couple of,
Mr. Chairman, on July 1st, you cannot do it because you were not here at the meeting. It was Jay, Tom, and Scott, so you cannot vote on
okay?
that. On July 1st, the meeting, the minutes were never approved.
Okay.
Because they're supposed to be done last meeting.
So we'll put those off.
We'll put those off until we can all have a copy.
It's in the second section of your packet. It wasn't attached to the top
Okay.
packet.
Wait a minute. What's that?
Okay, the next item on the agenda, Lions Estates.
Yes.
Now that's
And,
basically going back to what we talked about last month in August.
hi, Kim.
Hi.
I'm sorry we weren't here last month. I know that you did give a presentation to the board, but for the benefit of all of us and for accuracy's sake, why don't we just start from scratch, and can you tell us what you have in mind?
Yeah, I have new buyers that are picking up from where we left off originally. Same plan from the 2014 meeting that Louis had talked about. I'm not techie, so I don't know exactly what he had in mind, but I think there was a plan
Okay.
on that, similar to what Nichols College mimics what they did. So,
Okay, so you're, so what you're saying is you have a potential buyer for the subdivision on Lyons Road?
Yeah, we've already signed PNS and it's already in place. I mean, we're going to close within weeks.
Okay.
So this is contingent on maybe one item.
Okay. Does that item have anything to do with the Water and Sewer Department?
Yes.
Okay. And what is that item?
The extension.
Okay. So the subdivision that is being sold, what name is that subdivision in?
It's in my name.
It's in your name?
Yes.
Okay. And what name was it in when it was approved?
Originally
By the board?
in '07.
Yeah.
Let me get the correct name because I have a lot of things that have happened here. DHKJ LLC.
What was that again?
DHKJ LLC.
DH?
KJ LLC was the
KJ.
original name.
Okay, so I'm just trying to back through this. So the town had an agreement with DHKJ LLC for a subdivision on Lions Road. Now, when did you purchase that subdivision? When was it transferred into your name?
November 16th of 2012.
Okay. Now, I do recall you being here before this board one other time, probably within that time frame. Was that to transfer the agreement from DHKJ LLC over to your name?
No, that was for a one-year sewer extension. That was in March of 14.
Okay.
And that was for 1 year, and they just expired in March of 15.
Okay. What I'm getting at is, it doesn't appear that the town has a contract in place with you yet. The old contract was with the prior owner.
We already went in front of the planning board. I already went in front of the planning board for the covenant. So that has been done.
Yeah, whether it's, we have a contract, I talked to Louis about it, and we do have the capacity. So if we want to go ahead and just start fresh and give that subdivision rights to sewer, I know with the stipulation of, how it's going to be voted.
Yeah, have to meet the rest of the town bylaws. We've done that before. The first step, yes, like you're building a home, yes, you have
Because all you-
a right for water and a right to sewer. Now you have to go to the rest of the departments to prove that
You
you're
just need
honest.
the right to connect, right?
Yeah, the connection it did expire March 12th to 15 this year, so I'm looking for an extension on that. The covenant, I went to the planning board, and that was extended with conditions, which I understand, and I'm going forth on that. But the sewer itself expired in March.
Okay, so that's sewer. Now, with regard to water, what are your plans? Are you going to do private wells?
I believe that the new buyers wanted to connect to town. Is that correct? And they're supposed to be here. They probably will walk in.
Okay. I think at the last meeting, we did go over some of the issues that exist in that area with regard to low water pressure.
The last meeting explained that there was only 32 pounds out there on Rogers Road. They built 3 different houses. There's going to be absolutely no pressure. They're going to have to put in booster pumps inside the house, and it's going to be the homeowner's responsibility, not the water department's on these pumps. So just to be aware, there's 32 pounds in that area.
And
Probably going to be a lot less expensive to do private wells than to do that, and you'd have better pressure too. But that's a decision for.
I'm really looking for the sewer right now. It's going to be there, up to them, for the bottom. They can, I mean, I want what's best for them, obviously cost effective, but.
Okay, But
Yeah,
tonight, you're just interested in the
Yeah,
sewer.
I mean, I wish they were here to go forward with that.
Okay.
I know they were looking for the public water.
Dan, seeing that we did have an agreement with that land in the past, and we do have the capacity to make a motion to allow 17 sewer hookups on the Dakota State.
But I think we have to specify to protect the town. We spoke about the on-site pumps like bonds or environmental one.
Yeah, it'll
We
be.
do not want to assume liability of
No,
another pump
no,
station.
it's gonna be, it'll be built towards sewer specs. And, I mean, it's on private property, we don't own it.
But do you have specs? Would that, the next question is, would that be an engineered blueprinted job? So the right material goes in the ground. That's what I'm questioning. We want the right, because we'll assume maintenance of it down the road. That, it looks like a forced main, in other words, a forced main in the road with individual pumps at each house lot.
Right. We will,
Who designs that?
we'll have to, the new owners will have to have it engineered to our specs.
Okay.
And then whatever is on town property, what eventually becomes town property, we will take ownership of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm just getting at. If we're allowing the 17 house lots to have town sewer, we also have to follow up with a letter stating they will have to meet the requirements of the sewer department.
After the last meeting, these gentlemen did call Louis and they did call me to find out exactly what our specs were. So Louis talked to the engineer of the gentlemen that are interested in this development, and gave them all the specs. What needs to be done. It's in their
Okay,
hands.
so the motion on the table is for 17 sewer connections with forced main in the road and pumps on each property subject to all requirements, all other requirements of the sewer department. Is there a second to that?
I would second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that's the sewer part. And you're sure that's all you need tonight?
We're here next month, so.
That's all I need.
Yeah, I think that's good then. Usually we're just trying to protect ourselves too.
I understand.
We have pump stations all over town that we own the liability on now. And when they go down, they cost money.
Yeah.
Well, that's it then, Kim.
Okay.
Oh, you will need a letter.
I will,
You need a
yes.
letter from Kristen, so you can contact Kristen at the office.
Okay.
And we go through the minutes and type up the letter.
So you're gonna need a letter for water too then, or?
I only need a letter for sewer.
Okay.
When they go to, the new owners go to build, they want water though.
Well, I didn't know if you want to go to the building department, you have to show. No, I can't, yeah, but, okay, sorry.
Okay. The next item on the agenda, Shepherd Hill Regional Car Wash request.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
September 12, 2015, to it may concern the students and parents of Shepherd Hill Show Choir requesting to hold a car wash fundraiser at the Dudley Fire Station September 19th, approximately 9 to 2. Donations from the car wash will be 100% donated towards the student show choir tuition fee for the year 2015-16. There will be adequate parental supervision at all times. The contacts for this event are Christelle Scanlon and Hillary Grab, also high school staff choral director
Good
Connor
one.
Galley. Please feel free to contact us at any time.
That one's already approved. That one's already approved. The one on at hand is the National Honor Society.
Okay.
Okay,
I have no
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. Well, did we,
That's all right, just
We did
scratch,
this?
just scratch. That was approved,
That was already approved, yeah.
so back in June or July? To whom it may concern, as current president of Shepherd Hill Regional High School Chapter National Honor Society, I'm writing to request permission to hold a car wash at the Dudley Fire Station Saturday, September 12th from 8:30 to 12:30. I can be contacted at my home number such and such, or my email such and such. Thank you. Michaela.
motion to allow the car wash at the fire station for September 12th,
Okay.
National Honor Society.
Okay, and we do have a letter, I believe, that stipulates the type of chemicals that
Bio
will be used.
vehicle soap and stuff like that.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I will second it.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mark.
Kristen, could you contact
Yeah.
those folks?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
she's already called me.
Yeah.
Mark Devine is not here.
Oh,
Let's go out of order here just for a second and take that new pump for Patterson Ave issue up. Okay, request for vacuum pump on Patterson Avenue. Ruby Electric looked at a vacuum pump on Patterson Ave. It has mechanical issues. They said it could last for years or die next week. There is no backup pump. If it goes, the sewer department would have to work overtime with our trash pump or septic hauler until the pump is fixed. New pump, $2,735 plus freight. See quote attached. The sewer department would like to have Ruby Electric install the new pump and then rebuild the old one to keep it on hand as a backup. Okay.
Very important. Very important. Like I said, we only have one pump down there. And that's right at the pond. You don't want anything coming out of a manhole into high pond or flooding the house, so I think that's very...
Is this something that anyone on the board was aware of?
No, that's new to me.
And who prepared this request for a vacuum pump?
Paul.
And is this Ruby Electric a company that we have an ongoing relationship with?
Yes, they just changed the pump on Tanya Road Station, and John's used them at the booster
They're
pump.
very, very good. That's all they do.
And their pricing is...
They beat anybody. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any motion on the table?
Make a motion to purchase a new pump for Patterson Ave, $2,735.
And I will second the request for that quote for Patterson Ave.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We need to state where that money coming from.
Well, there should be enough money in capital, I hope, or salary. It's only the first of the year.
Yeah.
Would you contact Paul tomorrow, Kristen, and between you and Paul, contact Ruby Electric and,
Yeah, yes, so.
Capital,
yeah, well, huh?
take another capital.
Yeah, because Tanya Road, did we pay for that in 2015 budget?
Yes.
You know, we did probably in the past budget, so this will be the first expense out of the new budget then. Well, it's important, you have no choice.
Oh, no.
You're gonna pay one way or the other. You can't have a sewer pump truck working around the clock. That's a good improvement for the system then.
Okay. And let's jump back to the water superintendent's report.
All right, Mason Road was paved. We put in 11 risers on our line gate boxes. We finished the meter repair list. The water and sewer bills went out last Friday. As of today, we only got 2 complaints about high water bills, and both times our meter readings were right, so they did use the water. And ended up being one was a sprinkler and one was a toilet. And just to let you guys know that we have 60 vacant houses on the water system. So it's quite a few houses. I had one person with the construction company watching them so they wouldn't hit our water main and services on Center Road. They are installing drainage pipes. They are 14 feet down. They are under our main, all over our services. And I had one guy up there all week, almost the whole month, I should say, watching these guys because they're right next to our trunk line. On August 12th, excuse me, They hit our old water line going down Erie Road. They broke the gate right off. They broke the gate right off the nipple of the 12-inch main. So we had to shut down half the town. What it is they found the old transite pipe going down Erie Road. They found the end cap. They had to cut back on the end cap so they could get their drainage pipe in. Our 12-inch main was 6 feet away from where we found it, and we're just cleaning off the banking so we could go back and cut the pipe. And with that big machine, doesn't feel anything. In '02, we put the new water main down Erie Road, and we pulled an old gate box top off the gate. We didn't know the gate was that 6 feet off the trunk line, and the tooth of the machine hit it and snapped it right off the main. So it was a big accident. One of my guys was there all the time, so it was just an accident. We ended up having to fly out to Wind Water, picked up an end cap, put it on, and put the water back on.
Now, do we have plans, records that we update when things like that happen to re-identify where the line is?
Right now, it's only about that far off the water main, and it has an end cap. There's no gate on it. But it was a big surprise to us that line gate, because the line gate box was dug up and taken off the cover, so we wouldn't mistake it and open it up a dead-end line. And it just happened.
Do we bill them for?
No, my guy was right there. I mean,
No, I meant to have our guy on call.
No, this is just trying to help us out finding the water mains and making sure they don't
You
hit.
said that we had a whole guy there for almost a whole month.
Right. I know it's kind of crazy, but I'd rather have my guy there, because if you hit this trunk line,
Preventive side.
right, they found all the services going to the dorms. We had them lined up. We wanted to make sure we were up there with the metal detector, and we hand dug them to make sure they wouldn't hit them. I know it's cost us the time, but preventively, I said, that's our trunk line. They hit it, I'm shutting off half the town. So they could go up there and say, oh, you mark the line here and it's over here. But with our metal detector, we can pinpoint exactly where the main is.
Is there a lot more trenching to be done?
No, they're all done now. They're all on the other side of our main now. Now they have to put them on by the gas main. So that doesn't concern us. So we're all done up here.
So it is a minimal cost type repair, you just had to get a blank cap? And
Yes, it was minimal. But the only problem was just shutting down half the town. And I said Kristen stayed to 5 o'clock answering the phones.
Well, if they do some more damage in the future, I think we have to consider sending them a bill for lost time, power-wise.
But I said everything's marked out, they're all done, putting in the sewer main now, they're just putting in the cross drainage. And the sewer main is in the middle of the road, our water main is on the right-hand side, now they're putting catch basins on the left-hand side and tying into the center of the road, so they won't hit any of our services, so we're all done up there. Okay, we had 3 customer leaks, and they have all been repaired. We painted a couple of hydrants this month. We've been installing radio leaders on Alton Drive, trying to get that whole book done, and that's a big book, so it's
Drive-through.
Drive-through. We started jetting with the sewer department, and we stopped after 2 days. I guess something happened. I was on vacation, and something happened with the jetting system. But before we get into the sewer department, Christine was telling me about this computer company that come out with utility cloud, and it's everything that we always talked about, like the gas company in Paul. You can punch up the house, you have all the ties right on the computer, everything, the meter, everything that we need. And we have a guy coming down on September 9th, Wednesday, so we can have a demo and take a look at it. She was just seeing that in Southbridge before she started working with us.
Okay. So instead of using the cards, it'll all be on the computer.
Right now, all the cards are on a computer in the office. Okay, so because I only have one set, so we got that far done. This is going to be.
You'll have access to it out on the road.
And she'll have access, and we can put the history of the whole house on there, when the service has been dug, how far the main is, so we have it. We're in the 21st century.
On the work order system too, of the history of the guys went and there was a toilet leaking, or or day-to-day type, what happens when they go there also.
So we're going to have a presentation of that, you were saying, on Wednesday?
Yeah.
They're coming Wednesday the 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 9th.
And this also will help me out for unaccountable water. We put our fire hydrants in there. You know, the question is X amount of gallons for how long, it will calculate it out, so I don't have to sit there at the end of the year with a calculator figuring out, this computer will spit it all out for my unaccountable water.
Are you going to be present at this presentation?
All my guys are. So that way, if anybody has any questions, you learn. So we'll have one at the shop, she'll have one at the office, and we'll put in what the guys did that day at that house, and it'll be all the history.
Well, this is a presentation, not a training, though, right?
Right, but the guys are going to have questions. Everybody's going to have questions. The more questions you ask, the more, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, and then we'll make a decision.
Right, I'll come back to the next meeting and tell you how much it costs and what do we think of it.
Is this something you buy once, and do you have any like attached fees, monthly fees?
It's a monthly fee, and it's priced by user from what I've gotten so far. So depending on how many, you know, if it's just myself and John, then they take an average of how many users were on it per month, per day. So if it's just 2 is the most we would have, then it would be 2 or 1 per, supposedly it's around $85 a month per
And
user.
then we pay for point software.
Well, this, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This will help out her with the point. Instead of, you know, right now, we cannot punch in a meter number and go to that location of that house.
Right.
Okay, we can't find that. We punch in a person's name. It has to go to one screen, then you have to go to another screen to get the account number, go to another screen. This should be all set up that you can go right to that, punch in the meter number, you get the right location of the house, and get the history of it.
Yeah, because right now you have to send someone down to the treasurer's office to get billing information or anything.
Well, no, we have 3 screens. You gotta go by the account number. Once you go to the account number, now you have to go to history. Now you go to another screen. You're just jumping all over the place.
Sounds interesting.
So it's just something to check out and see, you know, because we talked about it many times. And, you know, just get into the 21st century of this.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. On a related note, I was listening to the selectmen's meeting, and the selectmen would like regular updates on the work that's being done by the Water and Sewer Department.
I talked to the town administrator, Greg, and that's all he would like was the minutes of the meetings.
Okay. Well, I was going to suggest we not only give them the minutes of the meetings, but why don't you have your own records right there typed up monthly?
They are in the minutes of the meeting.
Those are right in the minutes?
Yes, I'll give this piece of paper, and she'll let them all up in the minutes of the meeting, so she'll see everything that's voted on, and what's...
Good, that's fine.
And I just gave them 6 months worth, 3 weeks ago.
One other question on your report, the 60 houses,
Yeah,
they're vacant.
yes.
Do you know the status of the shut off in the road? Do you have something
We have a
shut
board,
off?
we have a board of what house is shut off and what's not. When it gets closer to the winter time, we start checking on them, and we try to find out, you know, if they want the water shut off or not. But, yeah, we keep an eye on these houses.
Most likely, you don't even know who the owner is.
Right, so
you know.
we go there, we check where the curb stop is, we make sure we can get on it before the snow flies. So if it ever happens, I'd hate to shut off the water and it freezes up, not freezes up, but the furnace or whatever draws water or something like that, and we destroy it.
But most likely, if the house is vacant, the oil tank is empty and the electricity is off and everything.
Or
They don't know.
if they have electric heat,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
Well, are we being paid?
we're getting paid by the basics, yeah, for water and sewer, but not.
Okay, so these houses are vacant, but their bills are being paid.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, if they're not being paid, so when the house is sold, they have to pay all that back.
Okay, so we don't know then that someone is looking out for that house and paying the bills on that house. So you're not saying that we're sending out a bill and the bill's being paid?
We're sending out the bills.
We're sending out the bills, but we don't know if they're being paid.
Right.
Can we get a list of, out of the 60,
Yep.
who owes?
Yep.
Because if they haven't paid, then maybe they did walk.
Excuse me?
If they haven't paid the bill,
Yep.
if somebody hasn't, then maybe they did walk away from the house.
Yep.
Because if they haven't paid the bill, then we have a procedure
To shut it off.
to shut it off.
Okay.
But we're speaking on that, our only fear is if the house is vacant on winter morning, the water main freezes and breaks, and it runs 24/7, it's on our dime.
Right.
We're pumping
Yeah, especially
chemically
before the
treated
meter.
water. Yeah.
Before the
Yeah.
meter. You know, they may say they drain the house out
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
ball valve, so
Yeah, yeah.
they're, you know, water's
You
connected.
know what we're saying.
Low valve.
That could run for a week and we'd never know it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it happened a couple of years ago, almost.
Yeah, right.
When was the last time we had a round of notifications of intent to shut off the water if the bill is not paid.
About 3-4 years ago, I'd say.
And why is that? How
There's
come we're not doing that?
There's glitches sending out demand notices and all that stuff, looking for the water, and the water and sewer gets paid before the town gets the taxes.
Yeah, but still, we continue to incur an expense that we have no reasonable expectation that it's going to be paid, though. I mean, maybe it'll be paid, maybe it won't.
We spoke about that just last year. I think it was brought up, yes, we have sent out like a collection notice. We have all the paperwork in the office to collect accounts receivable for water and sewer. If I'm not mistaken, the ideal time to do it is at what, the third quarter of the year, the third billing?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the ideal time, coming from Richard's office? But I mean, we could contact the treasurer's office and yes, see where we stand, how much money is outstanding.
Because I don't think it's right, just because we know we're eventually going to get the money when the house is sold, that we continue to let that account accrue charges when we could just shut it off and that would all stop, right?
Well, no, we shut it off and we'll still be billing them for
Quarter.
the basic pay. This is what district we're doing right now.
Ah, okay. So, because there's no usage.
Right.
Right.
There's nobody there.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, I think it's a smart thing to check. That's why we pay an indirect cost here.
All right, well, talk to Richard.
Talk to Richard and find out what our accounts receivable actually are, because we had a couple people that were way out of line.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Way out.
Right.
You know?
And do you want to do like you did last time? Anybody that owes us $500?
No, we can bring it up, you can, you know, you can research it and bring the information to us,
Okay.
and we'll take it from there.
So John's going to do a review of the accounts receivable, and you want to just put a dollar number on that? Anyone over
Well, last time we did this was $500.
anyone over $500 we would like to review?
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
a,
because the first year we did that, we collected a sizable amount of money,
Yes.
first time.
is there a rule that you can't shut off people after November 1st?
There's a rule if we have to give them water at certain times of the day.
Yeah,
We can't shut it off on elderly kids and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a whole list.
I thought that was the time of year, like the evening.
Could be just like the utility companies, National Grid and the gas companies, they can't shut it off in the,
But you have to turn the water on certain hours during the day, and then you can shut it back off.
well, something to think of.
Yep, so our next meeting I'll have something for you, let you know where we are.
Okay, so let's step back for a minute. John, are you here for Kim on lines?
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
she's already gone through.
She did. If you want to step forward, we can.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Did you already sign
did.
it?
So I was just hoping to maybe catch some of that discussion regarding Lions Road and the
Okay.
proposal.
So what's your relationship with regard to Kim's project?
We're actually buying it.
You're buying it, okay. So we did approve, we approved 17 sewer connections with forced main, with a forced main in the road and pumps on each property, subject to all other requirements of the sewer department.
Perfect. How about water?
We didn't talk about water. We did talk about it, but we didn't, she didn't make a presentation on that.
Well, I would like to go with water as well.
Okay. So I know you've had some discussion with John.
With John and Mike Loyne at Burton.
Okay.
And Mike
You're-
Loyne had a discussion and is actually drawing up a plan to your specifications.
And so you're aware of the water pressure issue over there,
Right, we can do pumps.
Booster
individual
pumps.
booster pumps.
booster pumps, and then how much are booster pumps?
I don't know, but that's gonna be the
Cheaper than a well.
Cheaper than a well.
Cheaper.
Okay. And so let's talk about fire suppression. So what do we have in place over there right now? Did we do a cistern under the prior plan, or?
We don't have anything to do with that. Fire protection.
Yeah, but the fire protection's on the site plan, has been approved through the planning board
Okay,
for that plan.
that has nothing to do with us. We just put hydrants down there, it's 32 pounds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
fire hydrants.
Yeah, they're on the plan.
Okay, so, now how are those affected by water pressure?
Well, that's where the fire department comes in with their pumper truck.
Okay, what about stagnant water if it's not,
Well, they're tying into the system.
so there won't be stagnant?
Right.
Which would be a win, I think, yeah.
And you'll have a hydrant located at the end of the
Very end,
main for
yeah.
purging and
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah.
And you'll have usage coming
For
off of each
right.
home.
For every 500 feet, and at the end of the line, I want a hydrant to cul-de-sac, so I can take everything right out of there.
Bleed it and
Right.
blast it right
Yeah.
out. Okay.
Um,
So John, you're actually looking for water now?
Yes, I really
Water
am.
main, hydrants,
Correct.
and the tie-in. And I think John spoke last month, it would have to be an 8-inch main.
Yeah,
And there would be a tie-in fee associated with the 8-inch main.
correct.
And the fee on top of it, we're not gonna charge you,
For individual.
right, but you will charge you for the water meter and the radio reader that we have to install at the house.
Right, I know that. I paid 31 of them over
Yeah.
at Dudley Heights.
Yep.
Okay, so it's 17 water connections, an 8-inch main, tie-in fees, subject to,
There will be no tie-in fees, there will be just paying for the water meters.
We have it posted in the office, the fee associated to the diameter of the water main.
But
There is a sewer connection fee though.
I know that.
Okay, so yeah, there'll be a sewer connection fee for each house.
Yeah. So, but as far as the water's concerned, we'll be paying for the radar reader and the meters individually.
yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
radio readout and the meter.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant access to the 17 house lots on Lyons Road.
Just to make one amendment that they follow the
Oh, yes, yeah.
protocol
Yeah.
through the water department.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
you can
so-
see, your engineering firm deals with, stays in touch with John, that's all.
I was just thinking, we have no plans, we have no blueprints. You wanna just give the water rights to that area contingency on,
Contingent upon,
On the plan, yeah.
yeah, engineering review. Yeah, it'd be nice for you to have a set of blueprints.
right, to see what exactly what they're putting in and what.
Honestly, I was hoping to have them for the next
Yeah.
meeting, but
All
I
right.
failed, but I will get them right to you, hopefully by tomorrow.
You know what we're saying, duck the line instead of somebody's plastic.
Oh, yeah.
Hydrants located where they are, where they belong. But you have an engineering firm doing your infrastructure work.
Well, the infrastructure itself, the approved plan is done.
Oh,
Okay, Para did that.
okay.
Okay, but I work with Burton.
Mhm.
So I asked Burton to design a plans based on superintendent's specifications, as well as Louis Gribb, he's retired now,
Okay.
but based on the conversation they had for sewer.
So it'd be nice if we had each
You'll
of
have
us,
both.
yeah, sewer department has a blueprint on file and the water department has a blueprint on file.
Correct, that's my intent.
And our engineer will actually review those.
Well, my hope is to have it all reviewed
Yeah.
when the engineer reviews the subdivision
yeah.
plan
Mm.
and sets the bond amount.
Because we would give those to Mark, correct, John?
Well, usually I
Oh,
look
is it
at it,
different
make sure, but the sewer department, we'll
Okay.
get to Mark,
I
make
can
sure.
let him review.
So it's a different engineer. So it'll be two separate engineers or three?
I'll look at the water departments, make sure
Okay.
it's all set. It's just the sewer department, we'll have Mark take a look at it, make sure that's all set.
Okay, sure.
Make sure we're getting what we're asked for.
okay, so there's a motion on the floor. Has it been seconded?
No, I will second it. We just
Okay,
had the amendment.
and the motion is for clarification, from the clerk, 17 water connections, 8-inch main. The only fee is going to be for the meter and radio readers. Follow protocol and direction of the water department superintendent, all contingent upon plans and engineering review by our own
There's
engineer.
one other, on the fees, there was one other fee, will be the tie-in fee to come in off of Lyons Road. I believe that's like $8,000?
Yes.
For 8-inch main?
And payment of tie-in fee off of
Tying into town water. Truck
Lyons
line.
Road.
Yep.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Thank you.
You're gonna need a letter too?
I would like a letter if I could get one, please.
Right.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, so do we have any report from the sewer department? You see here, we've got this, is this,
Yeah, that was an accident last week.
Yeah, well, yeah, I put that in with just to show, just kind of talk about the,
okay, on August 25th, the sewer department jetted JB Ave during the day at 4:15 PM. Kristen got a call from number 4 JB Ave that the sewerage was coming out of the toilet and leaking to ceiling in the basement. Kristen left 2 messages on what she thought was the sewer on-call cell phone. Listed on-call list was apparently wrong. Do we have that straightened out now, that separate issue? Okay. And left a message on Paul's cell phone to call the tenant or Mike if he was on call. Mike checked and cleaned the bathroom at 4 JB Ave. Paul was called to 6 JB Ave for a flooded bathroom, rug soaked by sewerage. Service master was called to do the cleanup. I talked with Rich and told him there was damage to both houses. Was this related to jetting work? Okay. And do we have any other information? Has anybody on the board talked to anyone on the sewer department about this issue?
Myself, I'm dumbfounded how a sewer line down in the road can back up to an elevation several feet above it when they're jetting. I just, have you ever seen that in the years of
I haven't
jetting?
seen it. I don't know.
I was told they pulled out stones, many stones, even a plastic cap. So I have to question, how did that debris get into a sewer main, and how long has it been there? Without going down to the plant and talking to them, but the word is, virtually saying boulders in the sewer main.
Boulders.
So the next question is the sewer main broke? Crushed?
Question.
We don't have a camera. You have to jet to clean the line before you can put a camera down. I'm just dumbfounded that a jetting process would send that much water back into a home. And I'm also dumbfounded that you would be picking up stones.
Okay, so, John, was anyone from the water department helping out on that project on that day?
Yes.
Did you receive a report back from anybody regarding this?
No.
So you don't know anything about this either?
Well, they just told me that there were stones, and they pulled out a cap out of the sewer main, and they ended up flooding out 2 houses then.
Okay. And do you have any understanding of the protocol for jetting on a multi-manhole street like that?
I've never done it.
Okay. Okay. Well, this kind of leads into the next issue on the agenda, staff planning for the sewer department. Louis gone, and we've anticipated this for quite a while. I think we've been operating under the assumption that perhaps we had the manpower in place that could supervise this without a superintendent, perhaps by elevating someone else in capacity to supervisor. I know that there's been some discussion with Tim Galvin. I've heard that it was, did you talk to Tim, Jay?
Not on any management situation. I've talked to the fellas that they're more than happy to go out and learn something from the sewer department. I know last week, when John was on vacation, John set his men up on different schedules, and a couple of guys did tag along with sewer department employees, learning about the pump stations and being available to go out and learn how to jet. That's all I know.
Okay.
Which is what, Steve and Tim went along with the sewer department employees.
Go 2 different days. One day Steve went, one day Tim went.
Yeah, but beyond jetting, I mean, just the overall operational protocol of the department. You know, right now we don't have any supervision. There's no supervisory person, and it's not right to have you know, two laborers there without direction. It's not fair to them, and it's not fair to the department. Do we have any ideas on that or thoughts on that?
Well, we have discussed it, and didn't we seem to run into issues, John? Like I say, personnel board, who has the right to tell people who can work?
Now,
And
Scott, okay, so Scott and I, well, as you know, the board presented to the town administrator some recommendations for the union contract negotiation. We asked the administrator to include in our list of requests job sharing and cross training.
Yeah.
Job training and cross training. The administrator, I guess, did not feel it was necessary to present that and to give up anything in the negotiations to get that. And he told Scott and me at a selectmen's meeting, in executive session, that it's unnecessary, that we can do job sharing and we can do cross training, and it's absolutely unnecessary. So we have some play interdepartment, but I think the only person who can supervise a laborer is a supervisor. So we would have to elevate somebody to that capacity.
I know there was there was talk about having him take care of the sewer department also.
Yep, there had been some talk about that.
Also, you can consider the other way is just look at the highway. They have, Penny's not in the union. They have a foreman at the highway that overlooks the other guys, but he's not in the union. That's one thing about, all the guys in the union.
Well, this might be the kind of thing that we get wrong. We might get it wrong a couple times, but we've got to do something. And I think that, one of the things that was on the table was having you take over supervision of the water and sewer department. And I know from my own personal discussions with you that you just don't feel comfortable doing that. You don't feel that you have the knowledge and the background, the experience, and you feel that it would be a real time issue for you too, to do it all. Is that inaccurate?
Yes.
Okay.
You mentioned trial and error. We know what they basically do. Why couldn't, right out of the office, a Monday through Friday worksheet be printed of what the men are expected to do?
No. A person needs a supervisor. Okay, you can't be supervised by a piece of paper. I mean, I just think it's unrealistic for us to expect that that's going to yield a reasonable result. We need to have someone who is working in a supervisory capacity. And it's okay if we spend money to do it, because, we now have a position that's empty.
But the feeling has also been 3 men on it. The operation of the sewer department does require 3 full-time men.
Right, that's the whole premise of this, is that it really doesn't. And so, but if that's the only alternative, if that's the only option to get a supervisor in place, then we need to do that. But I don't think that needs to be our first step. I think we should be able to take some other steps before that. And I'm disappointed that you don't feel that is something that you could take on.
Well, the whole thing is that I know about pumps. I don't know anything about jetting. But the whole thing is, if there's something wrong at the station, and I said, go fix it, they're gonna turn around to me and say, you tell me what the problem is. And I'm their boss. And
Yeah, I just think a lot of this stuff is a lot more common sense than you think, John.
well,
John, I think a lot of the stuff, and I've been here a while, isn't fixed in-house. A lot of it is, you know, an outside electrician, or we order a pump or something, you know, it's, the daily maintenance isn't hard where they have to, you know, pull the pump and
I
clean it out.
don't think, you know, jetting's very hard. Finding out where your manholes are, start getting measurements on stuff, see what's going on, see where the infiltration's coming in a meter, you know, get a camera and stuff like that and start doing that stuff. No, I have no problem with that, but when the stations go down or something like that and it's an emergency, you know, granted, you know, they've got outside help before. You know, I could do the same thing, but, you know, I don't do that for the water department. I take care of the problem.
But I think you could do that for the time being
Right?
and learn as you go.
Right.
And if it's something easy, then you know it's, you know, like I said, if the pump station is most electronic anyways, the guys aren't fixing it in-house, we're hiring out. So, I mean, it's, you don't have electricians on your side, or do you?
No. When it comes to the
Yeah.
pumps and stuff like that, but I'm saying out in the street, the mains and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I can repair it. But when it comes to inside pumps, you know, I can pull a pump
Right,
out.
and as, you know, as breaks go, I'm sure it's dirtier, but it's pretty much the same as a water break, isn't it?
Well, the other thing is, how's the right way to put it?
Now you've got the burden of two phones. You get a water department leak, you have to chase down all your water department people. You get a weekend sewer alarm call, now you have to chase down sewer people. Go to the
No,
station.
not necessarily. I mean, you could still incorporate another member of the team to take that phone.
I called him out before,
Oh.
and I got to get Steve, says George is this, call me back.
Okay.
Hey,
But
George.
my point there is that
Yeah,
John wouldn't necessarily always have to be the one with that phone. Okay, we do have people
Okay.
that are covered by union contracts that get paid for carrying the
All right,
phone.
bye.
And once again, I think that we're talking about easing into something during a period of discovery, because we do not believe that we need a full-time, third body superintendent of the sewer department.
Well,
I mean, we might be wrong, but that's what we believe right now, and I think it would not be prudent for us to just move forward and keep the status quo and hire a new superintendent.
here's another problem. I mean, we helped you guys out, the sewer department, putting that sewer main on Mill Street, right? And I had a problem with one of your workers, you know, and I'm not gonna deal with it.
Okay, John,
You-
how would you handle that under normal circumstances if it was a water department worker?
You write 'em up.
You'd write them up. Okay. Why would it be any different if it's a sewer department worker?
Well, I'm just,
I don't get it. I mean, we can't be handicapped or held back, basically having our hands tied behind our back because we're afraid to deal with the situation. It won't get fixed until it's dealt with. You'll have the support in dealing with it.
well, the whole thing is, was anything ever said to him about what happened on Mill Street? Nothing was ever said to him. Nobody, no commissioners went down and said a word to him about what happened.
I don't know, what happened on Mill Street?
I don't want to get into it right now. If you want to go into executive session, I'll go into executive session and tell you the whole story.
No one's talked to me about Mill Street, I don't have any knowledge of that. Okay, but we can talk about that, and we can decide how to handle it.
But I think a lot of that issue is because the individual didn't feel you were in a position of authority over him. But if we vote to make you in charge of the sewer department, all rules apply. Right down to the letter.
Okay. How about if we did it this way, John? 1 month. We'll sit down again at our meeting next month, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
There's no commitment beyond 1 month.
There's, okay. But there's gonna be changes. There will be changes.
That's what we're hoping for.
That's what we're hoping.
All right, next question.
You're calling them changes, we're calling them improvements.
The weekend thing on call with the guys.
Okay, so you are restricted because you're a salaried employee, right?
Well, I'm talking about who's gonna cover the stations on the weekends. I'm not covering for the stations on the weekends. I don't do it now. I'm gonna call Monday to Thursday. Now I'm gonna have Monday to Thursday with the sewer.
Okay, so,
Are you talking the weekend, sewer weekends?
Right. My guys are all set on sewer weekends rotation on call.
I think,
let's back up just for 1 minute, okay? Could I just have a motion to appoint John as the
okay, I would like to make
water
a,
and sewer superintendent for a period of 30
you make
days?
it.
Yes, I'll make a motion to appoint John Meehan as the interim superintendent of the sewer department for a period of 30 days. He will also conduct his water department duties and will start a procedure to oversee the sewer department in this 30 days.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, with regard to the question about on-call duties.
Can we just back up for 1 second?
Sure.
Can we get a letter tomorrow to the
Oh,
sewer
yes.
personnel stating this?
So at last night's meeting of the water and sewer superintendents, John Meehan was appointed as interim water and sewer superintendent. And if you just want to sign my name, Dan O'Connor, chairman, to that, there's no need on that letter to go into any other detail. And that letter should go to the to all employees of the water and sewer department. And how do we distribute mail to our employees?
We just make
Hand it
coffee
to
when
him.
I had to.
Hand it to him.
You know, call Sig in the morning, have them come up, hand them to others.
Have them both come up.
Have them both come up, hand them out.
Okay. And the very first indication of pushback needs to be documented in the personnel file. Okay, so
We'll give you every,
Back you up on it.
back you whatever you need, John.
Yeah, thank you.
okay. So the issue of the on-call.
It's just the sewer department. My guys are all set.
Okay. So the sewer department handles on-call during the week between the two employees. That's the current.
One of them carry the phone, you're paying them $20 a night, so that'll end up coming to me.
Okay. What do you mean it ends up coming to you?
Well,
They carry the phone, it goes to them.
right, so they're gonna be on call Monday, the whole week and the weekend.
No, wait a minute, let's just, I'm trying to understand what is presently being done. So presently, they carry the cell phones Monday through Friday, is that correct?
Yes,
One or two?
one
One phone.
phone.
So they take turns?
I imagine,
Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
Okay, what would you like, because now you're our superintendent, what would you like to see done?
Well, the only problem that I know with the sewer department is the weekend,
Okay,
okay? Because there's two guys, they're losing 2 weekends every month,
yep.
you know? And I have, some of my guys are willing to jump right in, go around and check the sewer stations. They have no problem with that. I have one guy that would love to get the money.
Okay. And we should implement a plan on a rotation basis with one or two of your men.
But that's what I'm saying, you know, and
I agree, I know, you can't be on call every other week. We have to bring a third or fourth man in there to ease the burden,
right, and it's also with the
Payroll.
rotation with the water department too.
so it doesn't
No.
interfere.
Well, if you're on call with the water department, you want to be on call for the sewer department that same weekend, because otherwise you're going to lose another weekend during the month when you're on call with the sewer department.
Let's not take too big a bite out of this.
Well, I'm just saying that.
All we're talking about right now is those 2 days. Do you think you have someone who would take the phone for those 2 days?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I get the okay from the board that someone from the water department can fill in.
Okay. So the issue then, as you see it, is that Louis used to carry the phone
During the week, yes.
during the weekend.
Yeah, he used to take a rotation on the weekend.
Okay. So the men had it during the week, Louis had it on the
No,
weekend?
no, no, Louis had it during the week.
But the men take it now because,
Right, because Louis gone.
How many calls do they actually get?
I have no idea.
Kristen, how many calls have you had in 2 weeks regarding sewer department?
Told them, just the one on JVA.
So minimal exposure.
Oh, sorry, they just had another one, last night, the pump station that was still.
Yeah, over the weekend, Saturday
Over the
night on
weekend.
Lakeside or something like that, one of the pumps went.
But I mean, it's minimal exposure,
Yep.
the chances of being called.
Okay. And so, yeah, I would say
Well-
yes.
Well, the whole thing is, you know, I do not have a problem. I'm on call Monday to Thursday for the water department. I can be on call Monday to Thursday with the sewer department. Same phone number, the guy got a call, I'll call one of those guys out. If they won't go, I'll call one of my guys out
okay,
to take care of it.
yep.
Now that, okay, so let's agree then that you'll get someone to cover the weekends. Okay. But now we need to talk about, because I'm not sure if you realize that we have 2 separate budgets, okay? And so we need to be, we can't be commingling this money. We need to be paying these guys out of the proper,
Yes.
out of the proper budget. Okay. We'll see how that works out for money.
Question to the board. What would you like me to do for the first thing with the sewer department? You want to back out jetting? What do you,
Okay, what do you mean back out?
back out on the streets, start jetting the streets, because they haven't been done in 2 years downtown.
So, because of this issue on JVF, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Should we stop?
No, that's what, okay,
No.
I just want to find out what, you know, I don't want to,
Absolutely not.
okay.
As we spoke, if you're gonna start jetting, Louis always played the game, I don't have the money for a police detail. So we've talked about it, well, start on the secondary roads where you do not need a police detail, and work your way from the western part of town into downtown, like John's mentioned. Why can't we do in all the side streets, Lakeside, Delaney, Catherine, Alton Drive,
Just do-
Norwood? There's so many secondary roads that could be done.
Right, just if I'm digging in the street, I've got the load off myself, real close, you know, if people come down and see the job, they get their house.
And we know if you're jetting, you could always send one of your water department men for backup, and that could come out of the
Yes.
sewer budget if we need a flag man or a directional. or-
Well, my first game plan is to start getting out there jetting. I have one of the water department guys out there running to go jetting with them. And eventually, I hope to, talking to Paul, he says, you know, 2 guys, you should be able to go out there and jet. So,
Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to have ideas on how this should be done better, so as maybe to prevent something like JVF. Now, JVF seems isolated because of the things that were found in it, but,
well, what I'm gonna do, first thing tomorrow morning is I'm gonna shoot over to Webster Sewer Department. And I'm gonna go talk to Jamie Duval. Jamie Duval is the head of maintenance department, and find out exactly right procedure of, do you go from manhole to manhole, or do you go 30 feet up, bring it back, go up another 30 feet, bring it back, or do you just do the whole line at once? And that's, we'll find out exactly what's the proper way, the water, the pressure, how much pressures should be coming out of that hose.
'Cause that's a multi-speed unit,
Yeah.
pressure-wise. And like I said, if they do a high pressure, high volume, then it did go back into the house.
Just, I have a question, that's all, about the on-call with the sewer department.
Mhm.
Are they getting paid to do that? Carry the,
Right now they are, when Louis out, they're getting paid $20 a night.
there's nowhere in the agreement it says anything where about the sewer department guys getting paid a stipend for,
They do have it in there. Is that the new contract?
yes.
All right. There was, you guys voted on it. You guys voted on it a while ago. Yeah.
unless I'm missing it.
If there wasn't, you guys are...
Years ago, we did something, we wanted to give someone some extra money for coverage, and the town administrator squashed it immediately. It wasn't in their contract.
Yeah, but I think during the last contract negotiation, it was specifically put back in as a bargaining item.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize, John, I just found it. It's $20 a day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah. When they're on call,
When, to carry the beaver.
to carry the beaver. Yeah.
Right, but they're no longer going to be Monday through Friday because you agreed to take it Monday through Thursday, right?
Right, that's what I wanted the water department now, so I might as well just take it as now with the sewer department. And if someone comes up, I'll call them out. If I don't get a hold of them, I'll call one of my guys out.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday then.
Right. We need somebody to carry the phone.
That's, you figured it
Well,
out.
that'll be your
Yeah.
rotation between your third man.
If,
You have 2 full-time men now. We're gonna sponsor a water department employee that says he's willing to start learning the ropes.
Yep.
So he'll be the third man on the rotation list. And if a,
The third man on the water department.
yeah, and if a fourth man from the water department wants to participate, I'm sure that'll work out too. To go on once a month.
Yep. Well, we'll work it
Yeah,
out.
you know what I'm saying?
We'll
Yeah,
work
yeah.
it out.
You know,
You know?
because like I said, you have one man that's learning the ropes
Yep.
and is more than willing.
But this one man that I have has worked putting in septic tanks and stuff like that, so he knows a good portion of the sewer already of doing stuff.
I mean, if you want to offer to the guys of the sewer department to be carried the phone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if they're willing, it's not in the contract, but if they're willing, that's fine. If not, offer it to one of the water guys.
Okay?
Well, the man that's on call for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to work that weekend, he should have the phone, no?
That's why they've been rotating now. They're on
If you're on call for
the
that weekend,
they
you should have the phone.
Right.
Right.
Not to minimize the importance of this, but let's not micromanage it either. You know what we want to do.
Yep.
You have the authority to do it. You know we're going to back you up. Now, that's your call to make as far as the distribution of the time.
So I just want to make sure that water guys can cover for the sewer guys.
I know
And sewer guys can't cover for the water
No.
because they don't have the
They don't have the
licenses.
licenses.
I have talked to one of the sewer guys, and he was concerned when he actually called me that when he knew Louis was leaving, he didn't want to get stuck being every other weekend. So,
Now, that's the same conversation I had with them. They were worried about it. And I know that was a concern to them.
Okay.
And I have a guy on the water department that will be willing. It'll work out great, you know, because on the third week, he's on call for the water department anyway. So it'll be on call for water and sewer. And if another guy wants to jump in the following month, he can jump in, or whatever. you
So
know.
if you have a man that's on call for water and sewer, how's he gonna do his duty? He's gonna get the water department stipend and the sewer department stipend.
yeah.
And we'll iron this out as time goes by.
I'm sure that we will.
Okay. So,
I just want to stay, I have all confidence in you, John, you can handle it.
I do too. And I appreciate you being willing to get us through this time period, even if it is temporary. Just to figure it out.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so the last item on the agenda is schedule a meeting date for discussion with the town administrator regarding the DPW proposal. And so, do we want to just have them come to our next meeting, or do we want to schedule something sooner than that? I think that it probably would make sense to have at least one or two guys or people on this board sit down with the town administrator so that we can maybe get a better sense for what the time frame is for how they're going to pursue this.
Is this just with the town administrator himself, no one
Yes.
else?
Yeah.
Yes, just with town administrator.
There should be at least 2 or 3 of us.
Well, if you go 3, it's a public meeting.
Yeah,
If
I-
there's 2, it
I-
doesn't have to be on TV.
I would like to see it at a public meeting. I really would.
You would like to see that be a public meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Just so I'm at the town administrator, I asked him about that timeline, and I asked if he could just come to the next meeting, and he said no. He said he wanted to have it in by the end of September because the whole vote has to go before the town meeting, November 2nd or November, when the town
Oh, yeah, the fall
meeting
warrant.
is. So he has a deadline he's trying to meet
Okay.
before that, so that's why, and he gave me a list of dates that don't work for him, or days and times that don't work for him, so, you know, if you threw out a date that you could think of, then I can just check against his.
Okay, so if this is going to be a public meeting, it needs to be posted, and in order for that to be, it needs to be, what, at least 7 days in advance?
That was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No, 2 days.
48 hours, 48 hours.
48 hours, okay. So what dates does he have there?
That he can't, right?
Yeah, the days he couldn't was September 4th all day, September 15th he couldn't meet all day. Pretty much September 10th he can't, and September 9th.
Can this be is he available for a night meeting?
He
Most
said,
likely
other
not.
than that, he was available during the day or night.
Oh,
And
okay.
then he does have something here, 9:14 and 9:28, greater than 6, so I'm assuming after 6 o'clock he's not available on those 2 dates.
Okay.
either,
You said
so.
September 9th is not available?
Okay, so I am actually not in town. I come back on the 11th. So I'm gone, I'm leaving Saturday, and I'm gone till the following Saturday morning.
Okay.
So that leaves us from the 12th through the end of the month.
Is he available on the 16th?
I am available on the 16th.
He's available on the 16th? Can we post a meeting for,
Contact the office tomorrow for the 16th then.
And what time?
Times he comes.
well, like at night?
Yeah, like at night after hours.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
6:30,
6:30.
Yeah.
So 6:30 PM on September 16th. And you'll,
We'll have to post that then.
So I'm just gonna post it
We'll
as
have
a
to post
public
it.
meeting
Yeah.
yep,
to discuss that.
yep.
Seems to me it should be open to all the commissioners.
Sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so September 16th, 6:30 PM. It'll be posted, and everybody will be notified.
It's the way that I reached everybody.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
perfect,
okay.
yeah.
Great. Any other business on?
Mr. Chairman, we got a letter from Webster saying about a true up.
There it is.
Right.
Maybe that's one.
Is that from Webster?
What's the date on that?
August 12th, what is it?
No, I think
Bill
that's
Burke?
just in, if we, oh, have you heard anything from Paul Brinkman?
Yeah, I think they're looking to,
Ooh. Yeah, I
Is
didn't see
that
that.
from the last meeting and it wasn't approved?
didn't make it over, hello Maureen, I didn't make it over to say goodbye to Louis.
Oh, yeah, that was for the police. I had put it in with the sewer section to say that, like, people were asking now who we call when there's issues. So that was the police dispatch, people calling to say, okay, I had Louis on, you know, call,
Yeah, but it
who do I
says,
call? So I said,
Attached is the July flow data for 16. The year has passed, you haven't heard anything from Paul Brinkman about the true-ups.
oh, okay.
Oh, boy, now, is that Paul Brinkman's job or is that the town of Webster's job? Remember we sent certified letters to the town administrator in the past year?
Well, this is the superintendent of Webster.
Yeah.
He needs to meet with Paul Brinkman to true up
Yeah,
the sewer fees.
yeah. But if I'm correct, true-ups go back to at least the fiscal year 2012 in last
That's it.
meetings.
We are trued up, yes, to 12.
Now we're into what, 15, 16?
Yep.
In our paperwork in the office, there must be a way of contacting Paul Brinkman. I'm sure Louis handled it most of the time.
Yeah, I have this number somewhere, come across it.
Okay, so the issue of you know, the suspected dumping, okay? So they, I mean, for now, they would just contact John Mead.
I don't know how they could figure on suspected dumping. What's that mean?
I don't know. They took,
Somebody was painting down there, and they thought they saw them pouring the paint into the toilet and flushing it down the sewer, which,
Painting down the sewer plant?
yeah.
Where?
No, on Schofield, out of Stevens' place. Stevens. That's what it was all about. It comes investigating, it never happened.
Oh, I thought like a sewer pumping truck or something.
No, it was somebody putting paint down the sewer drain, they thought.
Maybe there's a list that we make up, the people we say, you know, at this point, or for the next month,
Yeah.
if you have questions regarding sewer, contact John. Because I had the police department asked the same thing, what number to list now, and I had said, and, you know, still have the on-call numbers listed, because someone's gonna have carried that. So, yeah, there were just people that kind of notified us and said, hey, Louis gone, who do we call now?
Yeah.
So that was
Okay.
just, I just put it to kind of show, okay, people are asking who's in
Yeah.
charge.
So it's just gonna be all sewer and water, my cell phone, Monday through Thursday. And on weekends, it's gonna go back to the sewer phone on weekends, and the work phones for the water department on weekends too. Because they already have the phone numbers for,
now,
We
as
got
far
on
as
call.
Brinkman is concerned,
Yeah.
is he still the person we're contracted with?
I guess he's the contact person as far as all negotiations with the treatment plant.
Yeah.
If we brought someone else in, I don't think they'd seriously know where to start.
Yeah,
And
it's a long drawn out between us and Webster.
Yeah.
he's been on it for
He's
years,
been
right?
on it since the get-go.
Well, I don't think there's any need to make any change right now, but it's,
Well, we should get this, Kristen, we should probably get the flow results, that July, do we have that July flow result?
Yeah, that
We should
came-
probably get that and a copy of this letter to Paul Brinkman,
Okay.
so he's aware.
All right.
Then we can take it from there. Because there's been a little bit of friction a couple of times with bills sent back and forth from Wright Pierce, and a couple of times we thought a few bills were completely out of line.
any other business before us tonight?
I think that's enough for one night.
Yeah.
Take a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to state nice job as chairman.
Now,